Hey there, Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising. Welcome to your reading. This week we're going to take a look at that energy that we are in right now about what is the next best step you can take. We've just had 2 eclipses and then that new moon that's very potent. It is got a lot of longevity to it. If you haven't seen the new moon video that I did last week, be sure to check that out. And so let's just see what is going on for you. What is advice from Spirit about the next best steps? External validation. You are magic. Shift the way to the new potential. Set your intention. Know what it is that you want to manifest and create. Like really focusing on that, right? Shift the way to the new potential. There's a big shift happening. You are the magic. And so the external validation says basically that when you ask for a sign or a symbol to show you the way to make sure you're on the right path, be paying attention for those. Be looking for those. It feels like there's going to be synchronicities, signs and symbols that validate for you that you are on the right path. There's this huge potential happening, this big shift. And this new potential is really this energy that we get from this new moon that we just had. And so, wow. Okay, there's a cleverness, a need to take action in spite of your fears. You know what courage is? Courage isn't, people who are courageous aren't the ones that do things they know how they can do. They know they can do it, right? It is being afraid of something and it's being unsure. It's like, I don't know if that's going to work. I'm doing it anyways. And you have the Knight of Feathers and it says action and focus. But I read the word fear. And so there's something about there's a need to overcome a fear that must be coming through. So action and focus, pay attention to the details. Mercury is now moving forward, but still in the storm. And so there's still, things are still a little sluggish, but there is a need to start moving forward. And we have the Star card, moving forward with hope. Now, the swans, they glide forward, apparently glide forward, but underneath, they're really working hard. And so it's like almost as though your subconscious is working hard for one thing, but the other thing is you're being encouraged to move with the energy and to do things, to take things forward, because you have a tremendous amount of opportunity here in front of you. So here is strategy. Okay, so strategy keeps coming up here when I'm looking at these cards. All right. I have a Pisces moon and I have a lot of water in my chart. So this is what I understand. I understand my intuition. I understand what I'm guided to do and how I feel about it. And strategy is not, doesn't mean that you don't follow your intuition. It's like I have my intuition. My intuition brings me forward an idea that I think looks pretty good. And so now what is the smartest way to implement it? And so that sometimes requires doing some research, getting some information from other people, figuring it out and trying to use my energy in the best possible way that I can find. So like working smarter, not harder. And so there is an energy here of you needing to focus in on the details and bring it down into the grounded area, right? And so we got this big expansive energy of water going on here in your chart. I'm seeing it. And then there's this need to take these ideas and really pinpoint, because remember, you are the magic, and that means you have to create the magic. Like, right? It's your words, it's your actions, it's your intention, and looking for that external validation. So here you've been kind of hung up in limbo, the Hanged Man, one of the Pisces cards, right? Patience and perspective. You've been looking at things from a new vantage point. Saturn in your sign is helping you to do this, but Saturn is now, is he retrograde now? I think he is. And so that is going to kind of make putting everything in order a little more complicated. You know, I have to know because I do so many readings ahead of time. I lose track of where the planets are. Okay, so Saturn doesn't turn retrograde until right around the solstice, so that's great. So moving forward and not having him in retrograde is really nice. So in the energy of what's been draining you is the Emperor. And so this is the stability or somebody trying to dictate how things go, or you trying to conform maybe even to how someone else thinks things have to be, and you're being encouraged to be your own boss, really, to have your own vision, because you're the one that's going to work the magic. We have 2 cards of balance. Actually, you know, like this is kind of like balancing the Hangman, right? But the difficulty has been about staying in balance here with the Zebra, the Temperance, balance and harmony. You know, keeping the conscious and the subconscious in alignment, and keeping your emotions in a comfortable flow. In a comfortable flow, right? And here we have the 2 of crystals, which is also called balance. It's balance and adaptability. So we have harmony and we have adaptability. So where things have been disharmonious, your ability to change direction, because you're a mutable sign, right? You can flow around things differently. Find a different way to do it. That's the innovation that needs to happen here. And so how do you know if it works or not? You try it and you look at the results, external validation. Is it changing the situation? Is it working? So whether this is within a relationship or a business situation where things feel a little stuck and stagnant and it's kind of upsetting. I feel like this really like easily the emotions boil to the surface, and there almost feels like a panic that sets in, like things aren't working the way they're supposed to. Instead, it's about taking a deep breath and sitting back for just a second and going, okay, what if I try moving in this direction? Will it make a change that works? And then analyzing it. Okay, does that work? All right. If it doesn't, then you go back and say, all right, so what are my options now? And then pick another path. Life is nothing but choosing paths, making choices, right? And so the shift your way to the new potential. Something about the way you're doing something is holding it in place. This Emperor energy. It's always been done this way. It's the way it's supposed to be done. I'm going to do it this way. This energy could certainly be coming from inside of you because it's in the heart space. And it could be that you were conditioned like this from your childhood. And so, you know, this is always the way it's done. This is the way it's supposed to do. Or maybe your sun, moon, or rising says fixed sign energy that's like, yeah, you know, I really know this is it. And you're being asked to be flexible and adaptable, more like a Pisces mutable sign. And so to shift your way to the new position, it's about you using the personal power and magic that you are to flow around something, to choose to change the dynamics through the words you use. Your words are wands. And this becomes really important and key when you've got the Knight of Swords here, the Knight of Feathers, which is action and focus. And so it's a coyote. And so he's a little sly. It's not a fox. It's definitely a coyote. So can be a little sketchy at times. So pay attention. I don't know if this is your energy or an energy outside of you, right? They kind of live in the shadows. So it's rare to see them in daylight. It's very rare to see them in daylight. You hear them all night long. I went for a walk in the woods about a year and a half ago. It was just about this time of year, and I wanted to get out there before anybody else. So I was out there like 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was not very far into the trail, and I looked up, and about 20 feet in front of me, there was a coyote in the middle of the trail, and we locked eyes, and we both froze. And then after a moment, he lowered himself down, and he slunk off into the woods. So I said, yeah, no, I think I'll go home too. I decided that I didn't know, that just didn't seem like a good idea, right? But he was just like very guarded and protected. He analyzed the situation, decided I wasn't a threat, but also decided that it wasn't a situation he wanted to be in, and he moved on. And so I feel like there might be something like that for you, where there's this situation where you need to observe it and make a decision. Does this work for you or not? If it doesn't, make the shift, change direction, and see how it works then, because the external validation will be, is things working better or not? Are things moving the way they should or not? Because what are you supposed to use for your compass and your navigation? What action are you supposed to take? You've got the 10 of shells, the 10 of cups. You are supposed to be working toward feeling blessings and well-being, feeling the love, feeling the happiness and the joy. And so if something feels a little off kilter, if it's not bringing in the joy, then there is a need for you to make a very strategic shift, because the energy to anchor into, we have the 5 of feathers, and in here that's an armadillo, so he's got a little bit of protection on him, but it's strategy and resilience. It's strategy and resilience. And so there's a need for you to, again, there's the strategy, right? The action, the fears, the thinking and focus, focusing and this need to make some shift, make some change, to just change direction. Your adaptability becomes really important. So your next step is to kind of look at whatever situation you're in. Okay, this is the situation. I have hope, the star. This is what I really want to do. This is what I want to bring in. I have the 7 of acorns as the key. I don't even think I covered it. It's the badger, black and white. But also the badger is very fierce, right? It's a very fierce animal, and it's determined, and you have determination and stamina. That's the key. Determination and stamina. You need to stick with it, but you need to not stick with it doing it only this way, because maybe this way will be better. So we're keeping the idea, we're keeping the goal, we're keeping the dream, the star, we're keeping focused on that, but we're looking at this going, there might be a better way to do this, to get the results that I desire, and that allows me to feel in harmony and in peace and in joy, and in this 10 of shells, this actual emotional fulfillment from that. We shouldn't be exhausted, we shouldn't be worn out, we shouldn't be stressed out, we shouldn't be harassed, we shouldn't be anxious. Those are not the feelings. Those are not the feelings. If that's what you're feeling, then shift. Make another choice, do it another way. And that does not mean give up the dream. It's about changing paths. Because here in the heart space, you have the 4 of crystals, the 4 of pentacles. It says control and security. So you are bookended by the stability energy here in the heart. And it has this determination and stamina. What you want wants you. What you want, you're supposed to have. It's just something about the method, the way the situation is currently is not working. And here in the area of resources, you have the Judgment card, the awakening, renewal, and enlightenment. So this isn't about judging something to be good or bad. This is about seeing things as they are and accepting them as they are and going, oh, this doesn't work. I'm going to try this. It's the door that opens, because when we accept a situation for what it is, then we can move to the World card and we can complete a cycle and we can move forward. And so there is something that's blocking your path, and it feels like something that's done out of habit, or you thought that would work, but somehow it's not working, and there's a need to kind of shift gears on it. I need to check the dog outside. He's kind of distracting. He's super cute. This is a little short. I don't know what you call it, like a little sheltie or something. It looks like a little miniature collie. And I was outside today taking something to my car, and she was out for a walk. And I wanted to pet her, and she goes, okay. And then she turned her backside to me. And I'm like, what? I only get to scratch your backside? Like, I don't get to actually pet you. And her owner's laughing. And she goes, yeah, no, that's how she is. I'm like, okay. All right, so you have the inner child. I love this. This is about finding the joy and the happiness and bringing yourself into the fun again. And if it's really hard, you remember when you were a kid and you try to do something, like say maybe you were learning how to tie your shoes, and the way they were showing you wasn't making any sense, and then someone would come along and they'd say, oh, you can do it like this, and you're like, oh, that's easy, and you immediately shifted, right? And so there's something about the way you're trying to do something that just seems like being willing to find the joy and the happiness and explore new ways of doing what it is that you want to get to where it is you want to go. So the child knows the way to joy and happiness. The child offers the return of a second innocence, a time born of wisdom and not of naivety. This card allows you to correct your course, see, and offers you a second chance. It brings you the possibility of redemption and entering heaven while on earth. Course correct. That's all. It's just a course correction. It's not giving up the dream. It's just rerouting, right? So it's like I'm driving down the road yesterday and they're doing road work and I got blocked. Like we were so far back, I couldn't believe how far. And so I saw somebody pull down a side road and I'm like, well, I don't know where that dirt road goes, but I'm going to find out. And oh my gosh, I was home in like 3 minutes. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that way existed, but I just paid attention to if I was going south or west, and I just kept navigating, so I made some turns, and then there I was. I'm like, how about that? So it's kind of like that. It's like you don't have to stay stuck where you are. You can shift, you can change direction, and it was really fun. I got to see some interesting things, and so have joy along the way. Nothing I like better than driving down a dirt road, to be honest. Okay, well, there's a couple things, but that's right at the top. This child here is to release you from the habit of being yourself and to help you acquire a beginner's mind so you can see life for the first time. Remain open to learning and discovery. Who is your spouse or your partner today? Can you see them with fresh eyes? Who is looking back at you in the mirror this morning? Become a mystery unto yourself and reconnect with a sense of childlike wonder. Something in your life just isn't clicking along the way you would like. But it's not that it needs to be tossed. It's that you need a perspective change. The hangman. See things from a different point of view and make a shift and try something and just see if it works better. So be open to exploring new ideas and new ways of doing things. So I'm on Facebook every day, and we're actually going to be working with Venus this summer, so I will invite you to check it out. Venus is going to retrograde in Leo, which is about self-empowerment. It's also about working with this inner child energy because they're in a nice flow. And so come on over and check that out. That retrograde, well, she's in Leo from June 5th or 6th to the 1010 gateway, and there's the 88 gateway in between that, and so it's a very powerful transit that she's doing, and so I'm not really sure how it's all going to unfold. I'm waiting to get more instructions, but I have a meeting with the Venetian Galactic Council this weekend. It's on my calendar. So I know what that sounds like, but that's the truth. Okay, so I will see you guys back here soon. Take good care.